Faith is not just the substance of things hoped for. Faith is more than that. And I'm going to talk about how much more it is and why it has to deal with who you are, how you see yourself, how you get what you want, how you get what you need. See, they already calling me about this thing. I'll be back. Religion tells you that God is up there and you're down here. Religion tells you that God is over there and you're over here. Religion? Heard it all? I thought so too. Someone once challenged me not to think of the creator of the universe as just some big guy in the sky. I see it as more than that. This power helps us raise our kids. It helps us to get our businesses together. Makes us who we are. Now imagine this power not as some big guy in the sky, but as a power working in you. Now, how amazing would your life be?
Looking for something more? Go to myalc.org. That's myalc.org. The Abundant Life Center for dynamic living through spiritual growth.
I'm Ed Montgomery. Looking for more? Hello, I'm Ed Montgomery. Thank you so much for being here with me today, because I'm dealing with something that I'm calling cracked faith. Now, what I mean by that, I want you to imagine a pot, a jar, a clay jar, and imagine you fill it up with water, and all of a sudden you come back several minutes later and all the water is down there on the table, falling on the floor like a waterfall, and you're wondering what's wrong, what's happening here. And the first thing you realize, there must be a hole in the pot. In other words, there's a crack. And what do you find out? You lift it up. Sure enough, you can see where the water's beginning to seep out. It's a crack in the jar. Everything was fine. You could put cornmeal in there, grits in there. You could put anything you want in there, but no liquid. Why? Because when you put the liquid in, it places a demand upon that crack. The same way with what I call faith. We all know about faith. We hear about faith. And this is what happens when you put a demand on faith and you don't have the kind of faith that is necessary to hold up what you're putting in it or what you're putting on it. Don't you go anywhere. Take a moment right where you are and hit that like button or the thumbs up, whatever that button is, hit the like. Sometimes you guys are slow over there on the Facebook side, so go ahead and hit it. Go ahead, click, do it. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button on YouTube. And if you've never been here, if you've never subscribed to our YouTube page, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And comment-wise, let me know where you are. If you're not in the city of Houston, if you're watching from another city, please go type it in what city you're watching from. If you're not in the state of Texas, type in what state you're watching from. If you're not in the United States, type in what country you're watching from. You might be watching this later on, hours later, whatever, but let me know where you are watching from. And also share this with somebody that you know. I always tell people to share it with somebody that you know, because you don't like a lot of your pages all cluttered up. But people that you know can get something. Look, I teach the high life. What I mean by that is a whole lot different than okay, I'm not going to say low life. I said it anyway, didn't I? Well, I teach high level. It's high level teaching. And not high to the point of from the top and you're at the and somebody else is at the bottom. I want you to flip it and look at it like a radio, an FM radio from 88 point something all the way to 105 point something. In other words, the high life or high life teaching is going past 100 point something or going to 101.5. In other words, that's our frequency. We over 100. We not under 100. 99 and a half won't do for us. We go over the 100. And this is how we look at it. This is high life teaching. I've been doing it for years. I'm probably considered one of the #1 teachers in high life teaching. So what that is about is looking at scripture a different way. And not just scripture, but I bring all things in. I read all the time. Here's my point. There is around Genesis chapter 7. I would start reading around there. And you can continue reading, and you should run into the whole story about Noah. Noah, Noah, Noah's in the ark. And we hear this story, and what this story is about is Noah says that he heard the voice of God, and God told him to build an ark and to bring some animals in there. And when you bring in the animals, get your sons and your daughters and bring their family, the husband, the wives, and get your wife and go ahead and get inside of the ark and shut it up. Not only did Noah bring in the animals and bring in food like the scripture says and bring in his family members, but Noah also asked the Lord if he could also bring in a few barrels of wine, because Noah, if you're going to build an ark that long, you need to have a little something that kind of something to help you out. So God allowed Noah to take a few barrels. He wanted more, but God said, no, only a few barrels you're going to take with you. Well, Noah gets on this ark, the waters come down, it rains 40 days, 40 nights. You know the story. Then they finally sent out a dove and a raven. They sent out the dove because the dove goes out and they wait for the dove to come back. The dove comes back, the dove doesn't have anything. They look at the dove's feet and there's nothing on the dove's feet. So they found out that there's still water out there. There's no land because the dove couldn't find a place to land. Well, one day they send the dove out. The dove comes back with an olive branch in its mouth, and its little paws, its little claws that it perches on was filled with mud that let Noah know that land had started to protrude out of the waters. And so they send the dove out once more. Dove never comes back because evidently the dove left with his dove mate. You know, doves like each other. And they left with their dove mate. And when they left with their dove mate, they went to make dove eggs. And so they never came back and made them a family. Noah knew then that dry land had appeared. Well, finally, they opened up the door and let the animals out. Don't ask me about how many animals or what animals did they take or how did they feed the animals or how did they smell in the ark with the animals. Understand something. Do not try to rationalize the story of Noah and the ark. We are looking at something that is teaching us something. You have to learn how to read the Bible, how to read scripture. If you're trying to read it as if it's CNN and MSNBC and well, we used to say those were, news where everything was absolutely correct, no flaws. Well, not necessarily, because a lot of these, what we call news shows, are opinionated shows or point of view shows. And so what we are looking at when we read things in the Bible, the stories in the Bible, they are trying to convey a message to us about faith. And so Noah, they get out of this boat, and Noah does something. He starts drinking this wine to celebrate they are on dry land. Noah begins to take off his clothes and something happens. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you that in just a minute, and it's going to help you to understand why things are the way they are in this world. I just want to say, I want to break in, right, just for a moment, to say thank you for your gifts. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your text messages, your text to give. That text to give is so popular that people can give $8. They'll give $9. We're in October? Yeah, you might want to give $10. You can text it. All you got to do is type the number in, send it to 713 742-2435. And you'll be able to, if I didn't get that number right, I know I did. Did I get it wrong?
2035.
Huh?
2035.
713-742-2035? Yeah, 713-742-2035. And you can put in how much you want to text. Just type the number in the message and just send it away. And if it's your first time doing it, of course, they'll ask you just a little quick information. It'll only take about 60 seconds. And we can go from there. Also, thank you for how you give. All the ways you give. myalc.org. That's myalc.org. And also on our app. Thank you so much for what you do. We got to keep pushing out here on this social media because there's some crazy things happening out this world. But let me get back to Noah because I don't want to lose my train of thought. I only got a few minutes. Noah gets, what is that? What is that? My back scratcher? Oh! Here's what they gave me. They gave me a back scratcher, okay? And I didn't know what it was for. It's to scratch your back. What they said, make sure that sometimes when these lights are on, I'll tell you all the secret. I don't always look straight at that camera. I'm just talking, and it gets a little dark over there. So they gave me the back scratcher to say you got to look this way. I said, why they want me to scratch my back in the middle of the show? Well, getting back to what I was talking about. Noah had taken off all of his clothes because he had drunk all this wine. One of the sons came in, saw, and they actually said that the son began to laugh at what was going on. Noah got mad. Other sons came in, made dad cover up and all this kind of stuff. And when he got covered up, it says that Noah cursed the son and said, curse your grandchildren, your children. And here is what the curse was said to have been. That the son and the grandson, the children of that son, would be servants to Noah's other sons. And here's what they brought. This what's been going on out there, out of European Christianity. This was called the curse. And they said that God made that child black as a curse. And that concept, that blackness is a curse out of Africa, and that whoever is black and cursed by God like that would have to serve the other people of the other races. That is the biggest lie that was ever told, but it is inside of Christianity. It is part of the faith that has been cracked, what we have heard that has cracked our faith. And so you have people of color who've been going around for years believing that they were cursed or that they have to find value in another race with another Christian Jesus, with a Jesus who looks a certain way, not understanding that that particular Jesus is just the image of what other people think Jesus is. Let me tell you something. Jesus is not a picture. Jesus is not a physical human being right now. That's not Jesus. Jesus is an understanding of something that we carry in our consciousness now. Faith. Now catch this. Faith is about knowledge and wisdom. When you have faith, you have knowledge and you have wisdom. And the more you grow in knowledge and wisdom, you say, I don't believe in all that. Well, I tell you what, Take those words, put them in the place of wherever you see faith in the Bible. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. Knowledge and wisdom is the substance of things hoped for. It is the evidence of what you cannot see. When you got the knowledge and the wisdom of something, it becomes the evidence of what you cannot see. Go anywhere. Have faith in God. Have knowledge and wisdom in God. When you got knowledge and wisdom in God, you'll be able to say to your mountains, be moved. Listen, it's based on what kind of knowledge and what kind of wisdom do you have? How long have you walked with God? You, regardless of what your skin color, is not cursed. It was one of the biggest lies that were ever told. Do you know that that lie is still in the church? It is still just glossed over. And it is still the bottom level, the underpinning of white supremacy. Ladies and gentlemen, really look at this stuff. Look at it and realize if you are the other or of another color, another race, you've never been cursed. You've never been cursed to lose. In other words, you didn't have to get rid of a curse because you never were. That is one of the biggest lies that have ever been given to people of color. Now, change your faith, your knowledge, and your wisdom. When you change it, I got news for you. You will change who you are. And when you begin to see yourself for who you are, you won't see yourself as this picture of Jesus that they put out for you. Because that picture that they put out on the internet of what Jesus looked like, that's just a lie. That's a lion. That's lion. That's a lion wonder. See, lion, that's lion. When you look in the mirror, you got to learn how to see Christ in you. And other people, if they can't see that Christ in you, then something's wrong with their eyes. People say, well, I'm colorblind. No, you're not colorblind. You're Jesus blind. You can't see God in other people. How you gonna run this country and you cannot see the God in other people? Listen, we ain't got much time, but you better grab a hold of this thing. Get a hold of your image. Get a hold of who you are and how you see yourself. Or you're going to be sitting on the couch all alone, scratching your back. Allow me to break in here just a moment. You know, a lot of people talk about the power of a seed or the power within a seed. We all know that inside of an acorn is an oak tree or several oak trees. Inside of a pine cone are pine trees, acres of pine trees. But where does the inside of the seed get its power from? I found this very interesting. The outer hull or the casing of the seed, which is very hard, it's what keeps the seed alive throughout the years. Even in Egypt, they have found seeds that are in mummies' tombs that are 3,000 years old. Plant them and they still bring forth the fruit of what that seed is. Why? Because of the outer hull. When you put a corn seed in the ground, or when you put wheat seed in the ground or the earth, when you put any kind of seed in the earth, of course you water it and you have the sunlight to give it heat. So you got moisture and heat. And what does the moisture and heat do? It breaks down the outer hull of the seed until it becomes moist and pliable. But what does the inside of the seed do? Here it is. It eats it. It nourishes the inside. So the thing that is hard on the outside can become soft enough to be edible from what's inside. Let me say this to you. The power of a seed is not just you on the inside of it. The power of a seed is the ability to be able to take the tough things in life, the hard things in life, the unedible things in life, the things you can't swallow, the scars that won't heal. And when you allow the sunlight and moisture and rain and abundance to come upon it, it will get soft enough for you to feed on the tough things in life. And when you learn to feed on the tough things in life, you get stronger. Here's what a seed is. A seed is what you plant. Take a moment, plant a seed with us now to help us get our message out to other people, to encourage and build other people. Call the number that's on your screen. You can text to give. It's very powerful, very popular. You can say it 713-742-2035. 713-742-2035. You can also go to myalc.org. That's myalc.org. Go online and give through that safe medium. It will do something for you. It will be a seed. And then when you're tempted to worry, how is this going to help me? Whenever something tough comes in your life, you just say, just wait. I'm going to use this toughness for my triumph. I promise you that. Giving will make you feel warm inside. Thank you. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash it, crash